Titans Ed here, back to do another video review. This time going to be reviewing Transformers, Predacons Rising, the Target exclusive Skylinks. I do know this is a repaint of Skystalker, and I usually have a rule of no repaints, but I really did not like Skystalker's look. I thought it just looked fugly. That's the best word that can come to mind. It was really bad. Skylinks is, at least with this color scheme, I like it. I'm still not the biggest fan of this mold. I think, well, one of the big problems I've had with a lot of the Predacons in Transformers Prime Beast Hunters, they're not doing the wings justice. And when I think of a dragon, I think of a dragon that can kind of fold up its wings and can fold its wings out to fly. With Predaking, they kind of did okay, but with a lot of the others, they really screwed them up. This one is no exception because, of course, they had to put up a giant gimmick of launching discs in his wings. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. I honestly cannot, for the life of me, figure out why someone would put a gimmick like that inside of wings. I mean, I understand with most deluxes, they have a certain amount of plastic they have to use to mold the figure, but this is the disc launching, because you have to fold it up like this to get one forward. It just looks stupid. To top it off, when you try to make them into any kind of flight pose, you have to get the wings kind of like this, and that's a little annoying too. They have to go so far forward. But, hands aren't half as bad as I thought they'd be. They do have a tendency to pop off when you transform them, but once you get them transformed, they generally stay in place. Head could benefit from one being a little bit longer and having one extra swivel joint, or not swivel, hinge joint in it, because this head just kind of looks ridiculous. It does have an opening mouth, but if you look carefully, you can see the robot mode's head. So yeah, Skylinks was in the Predacons Rising movie. He was with Darksteel and Predaking at the end of the movie, fighting all the Terracons. If you haven't seen that movie, well, it's your own dang fault. You have no excuse. That movie is out on Blu-ray. It has been online for a while. There is no excuse to not see that movie. Again, this molding is not the best in my opinion. It has a lot of flaws. Particularly in where the head ends up in robot mode. Speaking of which, this is robot mode. Now, robot mode has one issue. These gangly legs maybe look good for beast mode, but they do not work good for a robot mode. Particularly a robot mode that is so top heavy, because it's got a giant pair of white and blue wings. There we go. To top it off, the wings are set up in such a way when in robot mode, they fit over the robots as sort of like the shoulder bits. So yeah, bit of an issue there too. Now, technically, most display his head like that, but that just looks like he's got his mouth permanently open with just something kind of dangling out. So you almost have to have it extended all the way open just to see the robot mode head, which is kind of weird. Like I said, gangly arms, you gotta use the tail kind of as a third leg to hold them up when doing any poses. And the final nail in the coffin, I think, for just a reason, if your only reason to pick this mold up is because you're a fan of Skylinks. Again, the blue motif on the Skystalker mold, just awful. Very awful, in my opinion. I'm sorry, it did not look good. Is if you like the name Skylinks, and that's the sole reason I picked this up, because his name is Skylinks. Now, he has one other feature. This little thing on the end of his tail can pop off and can be attached. Where's that attached again? Okay, now I know. Can be attached to his hand as a sort of a spiked boxing glove feature. Okay, that's something. Did you just literally run out of ideas? Used up all your ideas on the disc gimmick and had to come up with something for robot mode at the last second? Seems. Personally, if they wanted to do this, they should have gone the extra step, take the plastic from the discs, and made something that could fit both hands. But, yeah, otherwise, it's kind of useless. It does stay on pretty well, though, I will admit. Once you get it on there, it's not going to come off easy. It takes a lot of force to force that little tail bit off. So that's a little impressive. Again, I just can't recommend this figure unless you're a fan of Skylinks. Or if this dragon's design really works for you, go ahead. Me, not so much. If you find him on clearance for somewhere around $5, then go right ahead. Other than that, again, not the best. I got this figure solely because it's the Skylinks mold. There's the Skylinks name, and the color scheme, I think, works for the figure overall. But other than that, I think it's a figure you can pass. Again, it's an exclusive to Target, so you got to go through Targets to find it rather than Skylinks mold, which I've only ever seen show up a couple of times. So, until next time, this is Titan Zed saying I'll see ya when I see ya.